Welcome to the show. Right now, we're starting a live broadcast of the Big Movie Fan Show on Ustream. This is our Ustream channel. Right now, you're seeing the logo right now. We also have a camera set up. So, I'd like to introduce you to the Big Movie Fan Show. This is a podcast with movie reviews, ratings, and more, hosted by myself, Brian, along with Jimmy and Randy. So it's three of us hosting the movie review show that's up at bigmoviefanpodcast.blogspot.com, and you could check out previous reviews along with previous podcasts. So I'd like to say hi to everybody out there. Hello and welcome to the studio for the Big Movie Fan Show. Right now we are broadcasting and recording at the same time our new show here on Ustream. What I'd like to be able to do in the near future is actually be able to try and do the Big Movie Fan Show live, and we're thinking of a time slot right now. The time slot we're thinking of is Sundays at 3 p.m. Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you happen to run into the video, you can leave a comment. Let us know what you think about movie reviews 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday. So that gives you an opportunity to go out Friday, watch the movie, and even Saturday if you don't have a chance on Friday, to go watch the movie and let us know what you think live on the air. I actually have my setup here that I wanted to talk a little bit about the setup. I just started using the Ustream producer software, which just came out. It was just announced and available now. The Ustream producer, this is the free version of the Ustream producer. So you can go back and forth. You can kind of go back and forth from a FireWire, a video camera if you have, or from a web camera if you like. And you can also go to still images. So like I can go back right here by clicking and go right back to the image. So that's the the show logo, so that it kind of helps out, and it has a smooth transition back and forth. So here we are back in the studio. So as you can see, I'm just not really dressed for television, but I thought I'd give this a shot. Like I said, if you're listening, it's for the Big Movie Fan Show. You see the setup. I wanted to talk a little bit about the setup. I've been working on the show for a couple of months now, and finally got a setup that is working okay. Kind of have a workflow as well for the show, so you have kind of everything that you need. You could see I have my MacBook here in front of me, my MacBook Pro. I have a rack box with some equipment on it. Just to go through some of this equipment, for those of you who are looking to do a podcast or just would like to know what we're using for our podcast, because I found it very useful to search online and see other people with their equipment listed in a blog, and it just was very helpful to kind of see what other kind of equipment that other people are using. So I found that very useful, very kind of helpful in my search to find a really nice broadcast or podcasting setup. So in the rack, we have a Furman power conditioner. That's just a nice way of plugging all the gear together, particularly the audio gear that is not really necessary. It doesn't matter if it's off or on. It's only on, obviously when we're using the audio gear. When I'm using my computer, or the recorder is not plugged into this, so I should highlight that. I have a Tascam HD P2 recorder that I use to record the show. I'm not using that right now. I'm just using the Ustream producer. So that's kind of that's not plugged in. Like I said, it's not plugged into the switch. So if we accidentally hit the switch, we only lose the microphones and things like that. We can always go back and edit the recording so that doesn't mess up the saving of the file. This is a compact flash recorder. It records very high quality, very good recorder. Next up, I have two DBX compressors. These I've had for a little while. This is the 1066 compressor along with the 266 XL. I'm using them single channel like mono. I have 4 microphones available, so each microphone is using one channel of this compressor. It's using it for compression, for noise gating. So if I step back from the microphone, you can hear that the room noise just cut off because I'm gating it with a noise gate off of the DBX compressor. I can kind of make that a little harsher. So now I really have to be close, and it sounds a little choppy. You don't want to do that which is like more of a -20 setting. I usually go -40 for the noise gate on my microphone. Next up, I have a Behringer. I'm not a big fan of the Behringer brand, but this is just a headphone amplifier, so I can get 4 headphones in the room without having to use splitters, things like that. I also have, which I'm not really using, it's a Lexicon MPX 500, which is this unit right here. The MPX 500 is a good effects processor, but when you're doing podcasts, you don't really want to have any effects on your voice. You just want it to sound very smooth, very strong, kind of radio broadcast type voice. Next up is something that I added because I've had this device, never really used it too much. It's the BBE 882 Sonic Maximizer. Now, just to give you a demo, I can turn off the maximizer. This is without the maximizer, but it tends to process and boost the sound to make it sound a little better. So this is with the BBE off. This is with it back on. You see, it pumped up the volume a little bit, but it also gave it a nice crispy, punchier sound. That's the gear I'm using here on the rack. On top here, I have a Mackie mixer. It's a 1402 VLZ Pro mixer. You'll see, the box for the, I guess, the audio interface that I have, which is the Pro Tools MBox 2 Mini. If anybody wants to buy it, please let me know because I haven't found any use for it right now. I'm not particularly a fan of the Pro Tools software, so not being a fan of the Pro Tools software, I haven't really been using the MBox. And right now I can't really use it that well with Snow Leopard on my Mac because the drivers that I have are, for the older version. It's for, I believe for Leopard or for even Tiger. 10.4 version of Mac, but I still have that, and it still works fine. I'll use it when I can, but I do have a lot of crashes on the computer when I use that. All right. What else? Did pick up the Apple Magic Mouse. If you picked up one of these, I think you'll find that you were roughly satisfied. But if you want to be more satisfied with the Magic Mouse, let me suggest a little application called Magic Preferences. You can Google this, and it's a free little app that a guy makes. Adds a lot more preferences and settings to the Magic Mouse. You'll see that you can add more touch-based stuff, like you can add a middle click to it with Magic Pref. So check that out. Besides that, I have, right now I'm using, for the video camera, it's a Panasonic DVX100B. And for sound recording, I told you the Tascam. Then I'll take the WAV files, bring them into, I'll usually start off with, on the Mac, I'll start off with Sound Studio audio editing software. I'll work on it a little bit there, add some markers. From there, I'll do a normalization, do a compression, kind of a high compression, and then we'll go into GarageBand, and I generate enhanced podcasts. I like to have an enhanced podcast that has photos, pictures, URLs and chapter markers, so you can click on links to certain websites that I talk about, that we talk about during the movie review show, and that's kind of kind of a good way to kind of show, not only listen to, but show and illustrate what you're talking about exactly, and get people interacting with your podcast. So that's basically it. That's in a nutshell my setup here. I hope that helps out anyone who is looking to start a podcast. It just the microphones that I'm using, just briefly, this is the Beta 87 by Shure. I also have a Beta 58. These are all just performance microphones for like live performance. I would like to get an Electro Voice, maybe RE20. Wouldn't mind that. But I worked hard on just using the equipment that I had, coming from video production. Just using the equipment that I had to kind of set up a quick studio. And, I have a room set up where I can have 3 of us talking about a movie at the same time. I can even have a 4th. And I've also set up, actually, this is one thing I wanted to mention, the iPhone as a telephone kind of plug-in. I can tap in the iPhone anytime I like. I learned this trick from someone on the web. I searched it up. If you purchase a little 1/8-inch video cable, like a camcorder cable, it has the 3 rings on it, and then it has the 3 RCA cables on the other side. You can plug this into your iPhone, and then the red cable will be the wire that sends audio back to the iPhone, whereas the white and yellow are left and right audio output from it. So the red would be input back to the iPhone, the red cable, the yellow and the white and the yellow will be left and right, so you can plug it to your mixer. So you can send audio from your sound mixer, from your board, back to the iPhone, and plug that in and use that. That's a great trick that I learned, so we can do live calls. And I've set up like a Google Voice phone number so people can call the Google Voice number, and I'll receive that on the iPhone, receive that phone call right here, and then I can do live calls. So again, if you have any questions about this, please email us at bigmoviefanpodcast@gmail.com. That's all one word, bigmoviefanpodcast@gmail.com. You can take a look. Here is the name, the title right there, Big Movie Fan Podcast. Made a logo for the Ustream show. But again, very happy to be part of Ustream and the live streaming community. Hopefully, we'll be able to actually get a schedule going to do live movie reviews. Like I said, potentially looking at Sundays, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, to do our movie reviews, give you a chance to watch the movies. So thanks for watching, and please check out the website, bigmoviefanpodcast.blogspot.com. Once again, bigmoviefanpodcast.blogspot.com. There it is. So, I'd like to thank everyone for watching and listening to this special episode, special version. So, y'all have a good one, and we'll see you next time. There it is again. All right.